Have you ever encountered individuals who seem to relish pushing your boundaries, treating respect as an optional luxury? They might interrupt, make passive-aggressive comments, or act as though your time and feelings are merely suggestions. Should you simply smile and let it go? Absolutely not. If you're tired of tolerating people who don't respect you, this is for you. This is about sharing honest, and perhaps even bold, ways to handle disrespect without losing your cool and without sacrificing your self-respect. By the end of this exploration, you'll have actionable tools to set clear boundaries and demonstrate precisely where the line is drawn. The goal is to reclaim your power, protect your peace, and navigate interactions with confidence and self-assurance, ultimately creating a life where you are valued and respected, not in a demanding or aggressive way, but through the subtle yet powerful ways you carry yourself and respond to disrespect. First, embrace the silent stare. Have you ever tried the power of a silent stare? It sounds almost too simple, but this is an incredibly effective technique. When someone acts rude or disrespectful, nothing makes them more unsettled than a calm, steady, silent gaze. People who try to provoke others are often looking for a reaction. They want you to stammer, get flustered, or try to fight back so they can pull you into their drama. But when you simply look at them quietly, without expression, the power dynamic shifts instantly. This can involve making direct eye contact with the person while maintaining a neutral or slightly assertive facial expression, and remaining silent while the other person is speaking or acting disrespectfully, allowing them to feel the weight of their actions without any verbal response from you. You might be wondering, just a look. Let me tell you about a time when this approach worked like magic. I was at a family gathering where one relative kept criticizing everything, from the food and decor to everyone's stories. When he made a disrespectful comment about me, I didn't argue or react. I simply looked at him, silent and expressionless. He began to fumble, grew uncomfortable, and eventually stopped. For the rest of the event, he didn't bother anyone. That silent stare was more effective than any words could have been. It didn't just stop his behavior immediately, but he actually treated me with more respect afterward, as if he finally understood that I wasn't someone he could easily dismiss. Sometimes, the strongest way to protect yourself is to say nothing at all. When you meet someone's gaze with that steady, silent look, you're sending a clear message, without saying a word, I'm not playing your game. You're not being drawn into their fight but asserting your right to peace and dignity. The person becomes unsettled. People who thrive on negativity and conflict may become unsettled by your calm and collected demeanor, as it disrupts their attempt to provoke a reaction. When someone disrespects us, the natural response is to defend ourselves, to explain, or worse, to let it slide to avoid making a scene. But the silent gaze isn't about being aggressive, it's about showing that you won't be pulled into their negativity. People who make a habit of disrespecting others often do it thoughtlessly, without ever being confronted. But when you look at them with a steady, silent gaze, you're like a mirror reflecting back their actions. The magic of the silent stare isn't just in stopping their behavior, it also strengthens your own self-respect. Standing there still and composed reminds you that their words or actions can't shake you. People who engage in disrespectful behavior may be struggling with their own insecurities or feelings of inadequacy. By remaining silent, you avoid validating their actions and reinforce the message that their words do not affect your self-worth. I used to be the type of person who would laugh off rude comments or try to explain myself when questioned, but honestly, that only drained my energy. Learning to simply look at someone and let the silence fill the space without budging was a game changer. It feels like a small act of defiance, a quiet but powerful statement of self-respect. So, if someone is rude, crosses a line, or tries to make you feel lesser, try the silent stare. Just look at them, letting them feel the weight of your calm. You'll be surprised at how unsettled it makes them and how empowered it makes you feel. The silent stare says, I respect myself too much to be dragged into your negativity, and that's a message well worth sending. The silent stare is not intended to be aggressive or confrontational, but rather a tool for asserting your boundaries and protecting your emotional well-being. It is a reminder that you have the power to choose how you respond to disrespectful behavior, and that you do not have to engage in negativity or conflict. Secondly, embrace silence as your answer. Have you ever realized that silence can be an incredibly powerful weapon? When someone disrespects you, sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. I know you might think that staying silent seems passive, as if you're letting them get away with it, but the truth is, silence is anything but weak. It's a choice, a powerful one. When you choose not to engage in someone else's negativity, you force them to sit alone with their own actions, and that silence speaks volumes. People who disrespect others often expect a reaction. They're looking for an argument, a defense, or even just some hint of confusion to validate themselves. But silence says, I'm not giving you my energy. By not reacting, you keep control of the conversation, showing them, I'm not here to entertain your disrespect. This is a message that your personal well-being and emotional boundaries are more important than engaging in pointless arguments or conflicts. This can involve disengaging from conversations or interactions that are disrespectful or toxic, refusing to participate in gossip or negative discussions, and avoiding engaging with people who consistently disrespect you or disregard your boundaries. Sometimes, the most impactful communication is non-communication. It's a subtle reminder that they're not worth your time or your words. Silence allows you to remain composed and maintain control over your emotions, even in the face of disrespect or provocation. This can be particularly useful in situations where you want to avoid escalating conflict or appearing defensive. I once had a friend who couldn't resist making little jokes that crossed the line, you know, the kind of person who masks their insults as humor, thinking it's harmless fun. One day, he made an unnecessary remark about my personal life, something clearly meant to rile me up. Normally, I'd try to explain myself or maybe even fire back, but this time, I just looked at him. I raised my eyebrows and said nothing. I left his words hanging in the air, forcing him to sit with the awkward silence. He didn't know what to do. He glanced away, mumbled something, and quickly changed the subject. After that, he stopped pulling me into that nonsense altogether, as if he'd realized I wasn't someone he could easily throw off balance. That silent look did more than words ever could. It shut down his behavior and showed him that I wasn't playing along. Choosing silence when faced with disrespect strips that negativity of the attention it craves. Here's the deeper message: when you choose silence, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, I value my peace more than I value your opinion of me, and that's not just empowering, it's transformative. We so often feel the pressure to respond, to explain, to defend our choices to people who, frankly, don't respect us. But by staying silent, you're refusing to play by their rules. You're holding your ground without lifting a finger. You're showing them that they're not worth your words. It's not just about controlling the situation, it's about reclaiming your energy. Silence provides an opportunity for self-reflection and introspection, allowing you to process your emotions and thoughts without being influenced by external factors. This can help you gain clarity, perspective, and a deeper understanding of yourself and the situation. Silence becomes a filter, keeping your peace intact while blocking out the negativity others try to throw your way. The moment you stop feeling the need to respond to every rude comment, every passive-aggressive criticism, you free yourself. You stop letting people access your inner world, and you start living life on your own terms. Learning to embrace silence wasn't easy for me at first. I used to think that if I didn't stand up for myself, I'd look weak or passive, but I started noticing something interesting. Every time I replied to those who didn't respect me, I ended up feeling drained. But when I stayed silent, letting their comments pass by like white noise, I realized that I felt lighter, stronger, more in control, like I was reclaiming a part of myself each time I choose silence over reaction. Someone who constantly disrespects others may have difficulty respecting boundaries or understanding the impact of their actions on others. By remaining silent, you assert your boundaries and communicate that you will not tolerate disrespectful behavior. Here's the challenge: the next time someone disrespects you, stop, take a deep breath, look them in the eye, and say nothing. Let your silence speak. You might be surprised by how uncomfortable it makes them and how liberated it makes you. Consider silence your answer, because sometimes saying nothing is the loudest statement you can make. It's not just about what you don't say, but about the message you send by choosing not to engage in negativity or conflict. Embracing silence as your answer is a powerful way to protect your emotional well-being, assert your boundaries, and maintain control in the face of disrespect. Thirdly, stop explaining your choices. Have you ever noticed that every time you make a personal decision, there's always someone who wants to know why? Why did you choose that? Why didn't you go to that event? Why did you leave that stable job? It seems many people feel entitled to know the reasons behind every decision you make, but here's the truth: you don't owe anyone an explanation about how you live your life. That choice is yours alone, and you don't need to justify it. This might sound a bit against the grain, but let's be honest, when someone questions your decisions, they usually don't genuinely want to understand, they want to judge. They want to pressure you into rethinking or doubting yourself, or simply feel better about their own choices by making you second-guess yours. You don't have to play along. When you stop explaining yourself, you regain control, showing them that your life isn't open for debate or evaluation. Those who constantly question your decisions may be struggling with their own insecurities or feelings of inadequacy. Their behavior is often a reflection of their own doubts and fears, rather than genuine concern for your well-being. Why do people feel entitled to explanations in the first place? Often, it's because your decisions challenge their view of the world. Maybe you're taking risks they're too scared to try, or perhaps you're stepping out of a comfort zone they find reassuring. But just because your independence makes them uncomfortable doesn't mean you need to ease their discomfort. Your life isn't a public service announcement, and you don't owe anyone explanations for your choices. By asserting your independence and refusing to seek their validation, you challenge their sense of authority and control. This can be particularly empowering in situations where you have been conditioned to prioritize the needs and expectations of others over your own. I remember when I decided to change careers, leaving a stable job for something I was passionate about, even though it came with greater risks. People reacted as if I'd announced I was moving to Mars. Everyone asked, "Why give up a stable job?" At first, I tried to explain about my passion and my plans, but the more I explained, the more people questioned and made me doubt myself. Then one day, when someone asked, I simply replied, "Because I want to." No details, no explanation. And let me tell you, it felt amazing. The silence that followed was everything. People didn't know how to respond because I had taken away their right to question my choices. And you know what? Eventually, they stopped asking. This is the beauty of not explaining yourself: it sets you free. When you stand firm in your truth, knowing that your decisions are valid simply because you made them, you stop wasting energy on explanations and start putting that energy into truly living the life you want. People who constantly question your decisions may be exhibiting controlling or manipulative behavior. Their goal is to undermine your confidence, assert their dominance, and influence your choices to align with their own preferences or agendas. There's a deeper lesson here: your life doesn't need audience approval. Not every decision has to be analyzed or approved by others, and when you stop explaining yourself, you're telling everyone, "I'm confident enough in my choices that I don't need your approval." Think about it: when was the last time you saw someone truly confident breaking down their decisions for others? Probably never, because those who master their own lives don't seek outside validation. They know the only approval that matters is their own. Seeking constant validation from others can be emotionally draining and undermine your sense of self-worth. By stopping explaining your choices, you prioritize your own peace of mind and avoid subjecting yourself to unnecessary judgment or criticism. I've been there. I used to give everyone a whole PowerPoint on why I was doing something just to get their support, but over time, I realized that explaining to everyone only made me doubt my choices. So I set a policy with myself: if someone asked me about a decision, I'd give a short answer, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. If they pushed further, I'd smile and move on. And you know what? Life became so much lighter. The more I stopped explaining, the more confident I became in my choices. By setting boundaries and limiting your explanations, you create space for authentic connections with people who genuinely support and respect your autonomy. Here is the challenge: next time someone questions your choice, resist the urge to explain. Just say, "Because I want to," or "It's the right choice for me," and let the silence speak for itself. Watch how powerful that simple statement can be. You'll feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace with yourself. And the best part? You'll realize that your choices don't need anyone else's approval, they hold value simply because you made them. Stopping explaining your choices is not about being secretive or evasive, but about asserting your autonomy, protecting your emotional well-being, and prioritizing your own peace of mind. Before moving on to the next solution, if you're liking the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel with the bell so you don't miss out on future videos, and if you enjoy this kind of content as much as I do, comment, "Love this wisdom." Let's keep learning. Next, keep your distance. Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, some people simply disregard your worth and personal boundaries? Here's a hard truth: not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. If someone continually disrespects you, one of the healthiest choices you can make is to keep your distance. This doesn't mean you harbor hatred or overreact, it means you respect yourself enough to protect your energy and peace. Those who consistently disrespect you may be engaging in manipulative, controlling, or abusive behavior. In such cases, keeping your distance is essential for protecting your emotional and physical safety. Maintaining distance isn't about being cold or ignoring others, it's about choosing where and how to spend your time and emotional investment. Think of your life as a private club with restricted access. Not everyone gets a VIP pass. If someone repeatedly crosses boundaries, making you feel exhausted or uneasy, why keep them close? Creating distance gives you the clarity to see things as they are, unclouded by emotional manipulation or guilt. When you limit contact with someone who disrespects you, you create space for building healthier and more supportive relationships with people who value and appreciate you. This can lead to increased happiness, fulfillment, and overall well-being. Consider this: when you let those who disrespect you stay in your orbit, it's like inviting them to an emotional buffet where they can criticize, judge, and diminish you. And we often wonder why we feel drained, anxious, or disappointed in ourselves. Giving yourself space from these people is an act of self-protection. It's about safeguarding your mental well-being, preserving your peace, and making room for those who genuinely respect and uplift you. Creating distance can involve limiting your physical proximity to the person, such as avoiding social gatherings or events where they are likely to be present, and establishing clear boundaries about what topics or behaviors you will and will not tolerate in your interactions with them. I remember having a friend who never missed a chance to throw in a snide comment about my choices, my career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first, I told myself, maybe it's just their personality, maybe I'm overreacting. So I kept them close, trying to brush it off, thinking it wasn't that big of a deal. But over time, those small remarks began to weigh on me, and I realized I was walking on eggshells, always bracing myself for the next criticism. Then one day, I tried something different. I didn't make a grand statement or confront them, I just started seeing them less. I'd meet up maybe once a month instead of weekly. And you know what? I felt lighter, freer. With that space, I saw how toxic the friendship had become and realized I deserved friends who built me up instead of bring me down. Limiting contact allows you to reduce the amount of negative energy and stress in your life, which can lead to improvements in your overall mood, mental clarity, and physical health. Some people might tell you that distancing yourself is selfish. They'll say, "But they're family," or "You've known them for years." You might feel uneasy, even guilty, admitting that someone close to you isn't good for you. Society teaches us to be loyal, forgiving, and kind, but at what cost? Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. You're not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or their constant source of validation. Sometimes, the best way to show someone you've had enough is simply to take a step back. It's important to distinguish between creating respectful distance and engaging in confrontational or retaliatory behavior. The goal is not to punish or harm the other person, but rather to prioritize your own well-being and set healthy boundaries. Here's the deeper truth: distancing yourself is a powerful reminder that you are your own priority. You don't have to play the role others assign to you, and you don't owe anyone access to your mind, time, or emotions. When you put space between yourself and those who don't respect you, you're making a declaration that your well-being comes first. It's not just about self-care. Creating respectful distance also gives you a chance to refocus on the relationships that truly matter, the ones that lift you up. Think about it: the more time you spend with people who respect you, the more confident and fulfilled you feel. The less time you spend with those who bring you down, the less space they have to affect your thoughts, mood, and life. This is an act of self-compassion that helps to cultivate a more positive and supportive social network. I used to feel very guilty about distancing myself from people who weren't kind to me, wondering if maybe I was overreacting, but over time, I realized that creating distance isn't just about keeping negativity at bay, it's about creating space for growth. Creating space for those who support and uplift you enhances your overall well-being and personal fulfillment. Here's the challenge: think about the people in your life who consistently disrespect you, who make you feel small or drained. Then ask yourself if they truly deserve as much access to you as they currently have. Creating respectful distance is not always easy, especially when dealing with family members or longtime friends. However, it is an essential tool for protecting your well-being and creating a life that is aligned with your values and aspirations. Finally, hold your head high. Have you ever felt like someone was deliberately trying to make you feel small, as if they enjoyed belittling you? In those moments, you might have heard the classic advice: hold your head high. This may sound simple, even cliched, but in reality, it's a powerful tool when dealing with people who lack respect. When someone disrespects you, they're often looking to see you lower yourself, to make you question your own worth. They want you to bow your head, to step back, but when you stand tall and hold your head high, you're sending a silent message that says, "I know my value, and nothing you do will diminish it." The posture of standing tall communicates self-assurance and confidence, which can be empowering both for yourself and for those around you. The power of this gesture lies in confidence. Confidence can make others uncomfortable, especially those who habitually put others down. They rely on the idea that their words or actions can control you, can make you waver, but when you refuse to let their disrespect affect you, when you walk tall and self-assured, you're showing them that they don't hold that power. You're unbreakable, and that throws them off balance, making them question their own power rather than yours. Standing tall involves physical posture, shoulders back, head level, as well as mental attitude, self-assured, confident. I remember once dealing with someone who seemed to take pleasure in throwing digs my way whenever we met, you know, the type, always smirking, always with a joke that feels more like an attack. At first, I tried to brush it off, but honestly, it bothered me. Every time I was around them, I felt like I had to put up a shield to protect myself. Then one day, I decided I was done feeling small. I walked in, head high, and each time they made a snide remark, I just looked at them, smiled, and continued as if nothing had happened. The incredible thing was that they started to back off. They could sense that their words no longer reached me, that I'd risen above it all, and their power began to fade. The act of holding your head high serves as a visible affirmation of your self-worth, both to yourself and to others. It reinforces the idea that you are deserving of respect and recognition, regardless of the opinions or actions of others. There's something magnetic about holding your head high. It's like an invisible wall, a psychological shield that only you can create. People who don't respect you tend to dislike this because it disrupts their worldview. They want to believe they can dominate you, that they somehow own a part of you. When you walk with confidence, it shatters their script, breaks down the narrative they've created. By maintaining a confident posture, you may inspire others to do the same and create a more respectful and empowering environment for everyone involved. Sometimes, this may make you a target, but remember that holding your head high isn't for them, it's for you. It's an expression of self-respect, a way of living with confidence in your own worth without needing anyone else's validation. When someone attempts to belittle or disrespect you, maintaining a composed and confident demeanor can help you to deflect their negativity and avoid being drawn into a conflict or power struggle. Holding your head high is also a profound message of self-respect. It says, no matter what you say or do, I still see myself as deserving of respect. My self-worth isn't something you wait for others to grant you, it's something you give yourself. You live as if you already have everything you need because the truth is, you do. Holding your head high serves as a reminder to prioritize your own needs, values, and goals, regardless of the opinions or expectations of others. This can involve setting boundaries, making decisions that align with your own values, and pursuing opportunities that contribute to your personal growth and fulfillment. Holding your head high reminds you that you are the main character in your own story, that no one else's opinion has the right to make you feel less. This can involve challenging limiting beliefs, embracing your strengths and weaknesses, and celebrating your accomplishments. As you cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth, you may find that disrespectful behavior has less and less impact on your emotional state. Initially, this wasn't easy for me. I used to bow my head, avoid eye contact, shrinking myself to avoid being hurt when faced with criticism, but over time, I realized that every time I held my head high, every time I refused to let someone's negativity seep into my soul, I felt stronger. It was a reminder to myself that my worth doesn't rely on anyone's approval. I could stand tall and proud of who I am. Holding your head high is not just about physical posture, it's about mental posture, too. When you walk into a room, do it as if you belong there. Don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. If someone throws a nasty comment your way, let it pass. They're not seeing the real you, they're just projecting their own insecurities onto you. This can involve practicing self-compassion, challenging negative self-talk, and focusing on your strengths and accomplishments. So, the next time you face disrespect, take a deep breath, straighten your shoulders, hold your head high, and look them in the eye as if to say, I see you, but I'm above this. You'll feel a surge of confidence, a sense of peace in knowing their words have no power over you. Holding your head high is not about being arrogant or superior, but about recognizing your inherent worth as a human being and refusing to allow others to diminish it. It is a powerful statement of self-respect, resilience, and inner strength. Remember, respect starts with you. The more you respect yourself, the less room there is for others' disrespect to cling to you. Stand tall, embrace your worth, and know that you're worthy of every ounce of confidence. This exploration has highlighted the importance of embodying self-respect, confidence, and a clear understanding of your own worth. By holding your head high, you not only project an image of strength and resilience but also reinforce these qualities within yourself. In conclusion, navigating a world where some individuals may attempt to diminish your worth requires a multifaceted approach. Embracing the silent stare, using silence as a powerful response, stopping the habit of explaining your choices, creating respectful distance, and holding your head high are all powerful strategies rooted in self-respect and a deep understanding of your own value. Life is too short to twist yourself to fit into the views of people who don't appreciate your worth. These strategies are not about aggression or demanding respect but about subtly shifting the power dynamic and protecting your own well-being. Remember, you don't need anyone's permission to stand tall, protect your peace, and live life on your own terms. It's about recognizing that true strength comes from within and that your self-worth is not contingent upon the opinions or actions of others. In summary, these 5 strategies work together to create a comprehensive approach to handling disrespect. The silent stare and the power of silence assert your boundaries, while refusing to explain your choices reclaims your autonomy. Keeping your distance protects your well-being, and holding your head high embodies self-respect and confidence. Thank you so much for watching. If you found something valuable in this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on taking control of your life and building the confidence to thrive. Don't forget to share this video with anyone who might need a reminder to stand strong, and hey, leave a comment below if you have a story about handling disrespect or setting boundaries. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and remember that respect starts with you. By mastering these techniques, you can transform potentially disempowering situations into opportunities for growth, resilience, and self-affirmation.